Hello, peace warriors, Shambhala warriors, rainbow warriors. Today, I am delivering the New World Feminist response to the debate. On Tuesday, we are declaring that this is one of the most powerful moments of U.S. herstory. I am a U.S. historian, and I am inspired by divine feminine allies, both seen and unseen, to, we'll just say, the universe, my intuition, to voice the feminine, because the feminine hasn't really had a voice within systems based in misogyny. So if there is a system, most systems, politics, religion, educational systems, family systems, often those systems are based in masculine energy. So in our world, we tend to listen to the masculine, but not the feminine. So it's really time to do that. So that's what this is about. It's about voicing the feminine and leading with compassion, wisdom, and most of all, love into a new world based in peace. Okay, so to start off with, I need to let you know that we need allies. We need resources, conversations. Really, this is about having conversations. Do we need to have a feminine voice? Is that necessary? I think it is. Maybe other people think that's not necessary. If you don't, then you probably shouldn't be here. So anyway, I'm going to start off with a quote of one of our Shakti Tribe advisors. And this is Shree Aurabindo, and great master yogi. He said that if humanity is to have a future, she will wear a crown of feminine design. Okay, so I invite you to subscribe. Every subscription supports this channel, and it really goes a long way. So we would really appreciate that. If you like the subject matter, you want to keep this going, please subscribe. Okay, so I wanted to start with an idea, and this is something that Shakti Tribe dropped on my head yesterday. A lot of these things happen really quickly, and like the morning before I speak. And this is from Noam Chomsky, and he said, "The smart way to keep people passive and obedient is to strictly limit the spectrum of acceptable opinion, but allow lively debate within that spectrum, even encouraging more critical and dissident views." So encouraging lively debate within a very small spectrum. This gives people the sense that there is free thinking going on, while all the time presuppositions of the system are being reinforced by the limits placed on the range of the debate. So we're suggesting same thing. There is a certain system, say it's politics, there's a certain range that we can have this lively debate within, and that does not include a voice for the feminine. So in fact, we suggest the possibility that straight out gender equality is not political. It is basically common sense. Common sense. We currently have a ratified amendment called the Equal Rights Amendment. It's the 28th Amendment to the U.S. Constitution, which declares that the United States or any other state shall not discriminate based on gender or sex. They used to call it sex or gender. And that's it. That's the essence of feminism. That's it. Okay, and that's ratified in January of 2020. Since then, our representatives have refused to publish the Equal Rights Amendment. Our response is, U.S. women declare equality. We don't need that. We're actually stepping out of that system because it doesn't represent us. We're celebrating women like Kamela Harris. We're here to ensure she's elected as president. And, Taylor Swift. And the powerful moment was 3 hours, 3 hours, two women in their power, bringing together the entire country, held by sacred masculine energy. There's nothing that creates the ability of the masculine to rise up more than women in their power, women in their true power. And in this case, say, for instance, the dudes for Kamala Harris, they realize that she is our warrior. She is our hope. She's literally our hope for, if we hope to create a new democracy, it needs to start with electing Kamala Harris as US president. That is our vision. That is our prayer, that this country will come together and do that. Okay. So that literally in that moment, in those 3 hours, it changed the world. You know, Kamala Harris spoke very much in her power as in the top of her field in politics, which, make no mistake, is a warrior archetype. There's only one archetype that is allowed within that system, and that's warrior archetype. So women that have other expressions, say predominantly mother, priestess, medicine woman, creatrix, are running from that system because it's literally a snake pit, and that's no fun to hang out in. Okay, so she has had the strength to get to the top position in this country, and she deserves a lot of credit for that. But this was absolutely monumental. This is like Shakespearean theater. It's amazing. So I wanted to start by just talking about equality. And Shakti Tribe says, this is a great quote. I'm not sure who came up with this, but if your religion, your spiritual tradition, or political party helps you become more open-minded, more loving, and more compassionate, and more inclusive of all beings, especially those you disagree with, then you are walking a path that's likely good for your soul. And so my teachers used to say, be one-pointed. And what they meant by that is always come from a place of love. Okay, so I've got 3 takeaways from the debate that I'm going to share, and also a call to action. So as I say, we believe this was the most powerful moment in US history. This is about a war on consciousness. It's really a time for humanity to become aware of, to contemplate, and finally embody a new level of consciousness. We're moving out of fear into love. We're moving out of separation into unity. We're moving out of dictator consciousness into unity consciousness, pun intended. Okay, so US women are here to reveal a radical, and when I say US women, I also mean the feminine energy within everyone. We claim that we will not fall victim any longer to false patriarchal systems based in a dysfunctional, punishing, misogynistic male god. So our founding fathers, they said, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. That's what the Statue of Liberty is all about. So we suggest one nation under God /DESS, indivisible, which means undivided, with liberty and justice for all. That's everyone, not just privileged white men that are billionaires. So there is a individual that is opposing Kamala Harris who wants to become that dysfunctional male god. He's a tyrant. This is something that Abigail Adams foretold when she mentioned John when he signed the Constitution. She said, hey, don't forget the ladies. Well, they forgot the ladies. It happened. And we are in a position where we are faced with a tyrannical future leader. And this is not acceptable. Okay. He triggers us. He triggers a lot of us. Okay. So in yoga, we say our triggers are our treasures. Our triggers are our treasures because they show us where we are not free. So Shakti Tribe and our allies suggest the possibility of embracing a new identity. Okay, so the feminine identity has literally been informed by a punishing male god, and that's doesn't work. It doesn't work. Never did. Never did. Okay, so this was a distorted view. Okay, that we are actually magical beings. We're multidimensional and we're sacred. Okay, so women are sacred. Our bodies are sacred. Sexuality is sacred, and we can lead with love. Okay, that is the foundation of Shakti Tribe. Okay, so we can remember. It's like just about remembering who we are as divine souls who literally reflect Mother Earth herself. Okay, so that's really kind of the foundation of the debate. Is like that was the most powerful moment, and I looked at U.S. history from 1776 to now, and it's not. We've been having the Me Too movement since 1776. Okay, so we can't just go from the Me Too movement to Barbie, which was very powerful because it gave the feminine a voice, to a female president. We actually have other conversations within that we haven't addressed, and all the time celebrating the rise of the divine feminine. This is happening whether we think it is or not. Okay, so this is a heart-centered feminism about holding safe and bold spaces for the collective feminine to rise up. That is the essence of the divine masculine. That starts within us. Okay, the most pervasive misogyny is within women. Our best allies, I believe, are men. And so, and from a yoga standpoint, we actually would just throw all that out and say masculine energy or feminine energy. We all have masculine and feminine energy. I have a lot of male yogi buddies that actually have more feminine energy than masculine energy, and that's the ability to be receptive. Okay, so as a collective, we are feminists have been doing this game for 250 years. The debate was the same old conversation, and that conversation is between, a feminine bodied individual and the masculine, which is actually a narcissist. Okay, so Trump, from a archetypal perspective, is the dysfunctional father that wants to be king, and could be if we don't stand up. Okay, so you can't talk the narcissist into changing his ways. You can't talk the narcissist into being a public servant, because they are not. They're to serve themselves, and Kamela continually pointed that out. So she was actually in her masculine energy from the moment she walked out, she took control of that situation, and she shook his hand. She introduced herself. She got into his space, and she spread her germs all over him because he's actually a germaphobe. It was brilliant. Okay, literally, it was very strategic. This is a very masculine energy. She strategically pointed out that he was a narcissist, that we must keep out of the White House, and that he has no plan for us. She was leaning into her personal biography as a middle-class kid, kind of like the mother energy, where she outlined some specific policies for families, tax deductions for small business. And she said that her opponent will do what he has done before, and that's to provide tax cuts for billionaires and big corporations. That he has no plan for us. He's interested in defending himself, and he is not looking out for you. And then each time she pushed his button, he fell right into that every single time. He's very, very focused on defending himself, defending the dysfunctional narcissist position. He's a candidate looking out for himself. Okay, the feminine has actually been in a place where they have been dealing with that energy since 1776. Okay, so Taylor Swift says this: we have been conditioned to absorb male behavior, bad male behavior, such as displayed by her opponent. And if we actually say something about that, or we respond to that in any way, then we are the ones that are the perpetrator, because that actually goes outside of those the spectrum of debate, right? And what I'm talking about is radical, like actually creating safe spaces for women and children. That's a radical idea. Okay, so one thing that he never talked about is the American people. And Kamala said she believes that we deserve a president that puts us first, and we absolutely do deserve that. Okay, so we invite you, Shakti Tribe invites you to consider the possibility that we, as a collective feminine, collective masculine, can flip the script and dream a new dream. Okay, so within the spectrum of debate, the there's lots of lies that came up out of that opponent of hers. One was something about pets in Springfield being eaten by immigrants that have been they're legally in this country. Okay, so he spread seeds of hate. He spread seeds of division. He is a disruptor. He does it very, very, very well. Okay, we need someone that is a unifier. And we believe that Kamala Harris is that individual. She is also the leader she will be the leader of the military, the commander-in-chief of the military. Okay. Now this is an energy that is required right now with that spectrum of energy. So again, we the people must stand outside of that system and rise up. Our future depends on the people rising up. We, the people, ratified an amendment to the U.S. Constitution in January of 2020 to ensure gender equality for all U.S. citizens. And that has not been taken action upon. And the cat and dog being eaten, which is a lie, story was more important than the Equal Rights Amendment. So most U.S. citizens know about that cat dog thing. They don't know anything about the ERA. That's fucked up, okay, as we say, okay? So nothing would create more of a loving systems more than equality for women. So we believe ERA is the low-hanging fruit for peace on earth, and that must be published right after we elect Kamala as president. Okay, so we're actually supporting something radical, basic equality for U.S. women. 52% of the population. Okay, if we include people that identify as feminine, that's 52% of the population. That actually, we get to decide. We get to decide who's president. Women decided the president in 2016. Women can decide who the president's going to be in 2024. Straight out. We don't realize our own power. We are required. We are required to stand in our power. Now, we are required to stand on the work, the foundational work that feminists before us have done. They literally gave their lives for us. And yes, her story is a story of abuse, control, based in systems of misogyny, straight out. And I think it's really important to acknowledge those while not being in victim mentality. Okay, so that's the second point. The second point is like, what kind of archetype we got going on here? Okay, we've also got so Kamala Harris, the warrior. She's also was the mother, and then right after that debate, Taylor Swift endorsed Kamala Harris, and powerfully, okay, she's actually in a system that's already outside of that, the entertainment business. She is represents a sovereign woman that talks about a lot or sings about interactions or romantic relationships between the masculine and the feminine. Nothing has hurt romantic relationships more with the masculine and feminine more than the subjugation of the feminine. It's absolutely devastating. So I've been a relationship coach for years. For the relationship between the masculine and feminine is also dictated by the masculine. So that's a huge area to bring back. We talk about relationships between the masculine and feminine based in old misogynist views. Okay. We're becoming more into balance. So like we actually have to have conversations about that. We're like a dysfunctional family that just doesn't talk about stuff. We just sweep it under the rug and, keep Uncle Sam in the basement who's, tied up with Lady Liberty. Okay. So Lady Liberty is also a goddess. Maybe you didn't know that. She's literally a shrine to the number 7. And she's about liberty and justice for all. That is what we're reclaiming straight out. Okay. So I love dudes for Kamela. They've been inspired to rise up as warriors because they know that Kamela is our warrior that we need for us to save ourselves from dictator consciousness and for her opponent to become literally almost a king of our country and be in a situation where he has access to the red button, which is very, very, very scary. This is very, very, very serious. Okay. So this is an existential moment. So Shakti Tribe says, hey, this is straight out an existential moment in US history. And it's time for the people to stand up, speak up, and show up for the feminine. We're here to partner with the masculine. We're creating a strategy for feminine equality outside of the misogynistic structures that have kept us dumbed down and divided. We are attracting high-level resources, allies, and support towards raising awareness about how we are equal, but we're different. We're not the same as men. We're not men that swallowed a triangle. We've been trying to be men. Doesn't work. We actually need to create some receptivity. We can't be receptive. We can't actually be in our feminine if we have to constantly worry about being abused by the feminine, if we have to constantly worry about being abused by those old systems, which happens on a daily basis for women. We're conditioned to absorb that abuse. Okay. That will not stand. Systems will be based in love. Everything else will be cut out. So the word that I got from Shakti Tribe about the debate was vivisection. Like, I didn't even know what that is. So what Kamela did, I believe, that debate, she vivisected him. And that is actually cutting a entity open so you can see what's inside. And what's inside is a narcissist that is only out for himself. So biggest takeaway is we need to actually, instead of focusing on Voldemort, we actually have to focus on what we do want. We do want Kamala Harris to be the president of the United States. She will be the next president of the United States. And one of the most powerful messages that she delivered was that our nation, the strength of our nation, the strength of our world, the strength of humanity, the strength of our family lies in unity, not in division. So we are coming together for a future that we all deserve. We want the best things for ourselves and the best things for our children. This starts with electing our first female president, Kamala Harris, and humanity is here to lead with compassion, wisdom, and most of all, love into a new world based in peace. I invite you to reach out to Shakti Tribe. We're open to conversations. We're open to resources, ideas. We are a movement that is started in the yoga tradition. So it's about being aware of our history, aware of the suffering of our world, but not getting caught up in that. So we can break down some of the systems that never served us, and we can rebuild them from a place of love, from unconditional love for everyone. Okay, so please comment, please subscribe, and I will be back at 9/11 on Sundays talking a little bit more about New World feminism or heart yoga feminism or yogini feminism. We're evolving into a higher level of consciousness, and it's going to be fun. It's like a Shakespearean play. It's better. It's better. And we can celebrate. We can celebrate the rise of consciousness and experience this in a different way from a limitless, multidimensional perspective that we can tap into. And it's actually really necessary right now to observe this theater from a higher level of consciousness. Okay. Sending all our love and reminding us that we are all one. This is a non-dual tradition. And tits up. Sending love.